get that Thresh paired with either the Aphelios or the Jinx, because right now for V5, I feel like you take the Jinx, you take over with the Thresh as well, and you end up with a really strong bot lane for Photic and ppgod, and you're still going to get access to a jungler that you're happy with, even getting the counter gank from jungle if you really want to, just because with Jin Zhao, Lee Sin, Jarvan all taken off the board, there's still a lot to play with in that jungle.
You know, I completely agree with everything you just said, but I don't think that the players do. I think our casting team massively, not necessarily overrates Thresh, but values Thresh much higher than any of our LPL teams do, because neither team is picking Thresh. It's a Nautilus with a Jin. Thresh isn't even locked in. It's a Rakan that comes through for Kedaya, and we've got a Talon jungle. So who cares about Thresh, Dagda? Forget Thresh.
All right. You know what? Screw you guys. I like my Thresh. All right, Thresh is great.
I think
Thresh would have been perfect here. Screw everything.
As
the second someone gets caught out of position, they could have been saved by a Thresh hook. I'm calling it. Our Thresh ladder, I'm calling them. But regardless, Kedaya back on this Rakan. We saw how impactful he was in that first game against Viego. I'm super excited to see him back on this pick again, and certainly one that can disrupt a lot of what Jinx wants to do, because you can dive in on lane, set up for a view on this Talon as well. You want a lane that you can play around. Well, bot side certainly seems like that could be the port of call here for WWE.
Certainly could be. And look, I'm not going to lie, my audio cut out for the whole of that, so it's difficult for me to not repeat what you just said. But I'm excited to see Kedaya play Rakan. That's what I'm.
That is exactly what I said.
I thought it might be, but I felt like just in case you hadn't said it, I need to say that out loud. Corki and Callie banned away by V5. Ah, the enjoyment of online casting.
Remote casting, yeah. I mean, look, you got the Dagatron here. What can you expect? We're going to have some issues. But when we look at the bans, right, a lot of focus towards the mid lane, which means Rookie's going to instantly pick that Vex. So he's going to be super happy. I love seeing super strong mid laners on this pick, because the flexibility you get with being able to poke, plus timing your engages with that ultimate, being able to set off the big fears is so much fun to watch. The big question here is what Shanks wants to try and pick into that, though, because you're not going to be able to have a huge amount of answers to this Vex in the early stages, especially with the Talon there. It feels like you want to try and pick something that maybe can set up for the Talon, or at least play around the Talon. The Orianna is being hovered at the moment, but at least Ori in this lane, like Vex can kind of push in relatively well, is able to have her own shield, so quick trades for the Orianna not going to work out too hot. So it feels like you've got a really strong jungle, mid here, alongside a strong jungle working for V5, and certainly one that can play off of each other with those executes coming through nicely.
I will say for WE, there's a hell of a wombo combo there. With the Orianna ulti, with Rakan following up on that Infernum ulti from the Aphelios, explosive cast to ruin all of it. Like, I could see some magic happening for WE. If everyone groups up as V5, that's a big if though. Invincible locking in the Graves to round out this comp. So I feel like you've got on one side the big wombo combo from WE, on the other side it does not feel wombo combo-y at all to me. Talk to me, how does this V5 combo work?
Yeah, it feels like a lot of this is going to be played off of 1-4 for V5, right? Having Graves play off a side lane, should be able to do reasonably well against the Gragas, and trying to set up for having Vex try and play as your main engage tool alongside the Nautilus, like following up and having much more of a setup and zone control coming through for the Jinx, allowing her to free fire in the backline. Karsa just kind of setting up for resets and picking off low health members. So I think you've got a nice answer here for V5. The biggest thing for WE is trying to get ahead, or at least keep themselves even in this early stages, because WE's composition, without a shadow of doubt, as you pointed out, big team fighting team, so they want to make sure that they're able to contest objectives. But if V5 manage to get these early leads and Invincible super far ahead, it's going to be really difficult for them to try and deny the 1-4 while also being present fully at objectives, because you need BiuBiu there already at the objective, providing that front line. Otherwise, V5 can very quickly jump onto the squishy members of WE.
I am excited.
Is that a Shanks was playing Rakan and Ori was bot? I think it might just be a visual bug.
I'm not gonna lie, mate. This stuff behind the stage has been wrong like every single game. There's obviously some kind of technical hiccups going on there, and they don't swap properly. It's definitely Rakan bot, I promise you. We're on to the rift.
I wasn't sure if the players were swapping. That's all I wasn't sure of, but yeah. Okay.
Oh, no. Well, I guess we'll wait and see. I don't know that one for sure, but I doubt it. Let's get on to the rift, though. Game number 2. It is the right players playing the right champions. V5, just spreading out to start things off. And I want to quickly talk lane matchups for a second here, Dagda, before the game properly kicks off. Because especially in that top lane, I feel like Graves, especially across Worlds, was this pick that was like, I'm just never going to die. I'm going to have sustain. I'm going to be a lane bully. But against Gragas, his passive doesn't do anything. Gragas kind of matches the sustain that he brings with the fleet footwork. So I feel like BiuBiu could have a really good time.
Yeah, and that's why we're seeing Gragas kind of popping up more and more, and especially with Fimbulwinter being added as an item, it works brilliantly for Gragas.
Sort of overstepping a little bit there. We'll be able to back away, but actually V5 in a bit of a precarious spot. Looks like they've got out of that one with their lives, but I'm not especially sure what the game plan was there. I feel like Rookie was not on the same page as everyone else. Never mind, they are on the same page. And the page is go forwards, press W. Actually, that's a different game. Karsa is going to set up some chickens to start this one off.
See, this is the thing, right? You've already called it. It's members of IG and members of Top. When they get a lead in their games, game 2 tends to get a little funky because we're like, you know what? We've got a game in hand to play with here, lads. So let's see what we can do. So V5 throwing some wrenches into the work in the early stages does pay off for Karsa, though, right? Because Karsa actually able to clear reasonably healthily on this Viego, whereas Talon definitely someone who can struggle in these early stages with the clear, not getting the help. So, or sorry, getting the help. So for Viu, he'll probably try and go for some sort of quick free camp and reset. And then see what else he can do. But Karsa already can see moving through mid, making sure that Viu cannot go into that top side jungle. And with bot lane pushing in, there's no way that Viu's going to be able to recover.
It's a big choice from Rookie in the mid lane as well, considering he started this lane on half of his HP. He's doing all right so far. He's out of those corrupting potion stacks, inevitably. But doing a good job of trading heavily so far. As
I will say, those trades are even better. Those trades are even better than they looked initially because he actually used 2 of those corrupting potion stacks initially. So he's already ahead in health and forced almost all 3 out of Shanks thus far as well. So really nice job from Rookie. And this is what we're talking about in that mid lane. You don't really have as much control as the Orianna, especially when you hit level 3 for Rookie. Just the Q push is absolutely insane. It makes it really difficult for you to trade on towards Rookie and also manage your wave. And the personal space shield as well coming through from Vex means that she's able to kind of tank a lot of those auto attacks that Shanks is going to be tossing out and trade really well back as well.
So smart pathing from Viu there, sneaks in, gets the crab on this bottom side, which V5 actually had priority for. Karsa was moving his way down towards the top side of the map, so nice quick thinking from Viu to be able to grab that, get out of there, because you are the Talon that can just jump around the walls. As ppgod, it's going to be fine. I wasn't sure if Kedaya was going to commit to a little bit more in that bottom lane. TP's out from both of our mid laners as they both reset, get some more stacks. It's just about even in farm. And curiously, Shanks has gone for a dark seal for himself in that mid lane. So if a couple of early fights can go well, could be an opportunity for Shanks to show Rookie what's up.
Yeah, it's something that we see a lot. It's just a pretty cost-efficient item at the moment, and does have the ability to become even more cost-efficient. But here we go, Viu will actually spot out that he can pick up that Goodman Crab for himself, but still you can see behind on XP, right? Karsa's got his bot, the majority of the bot side for Viu, and also has his own jungle to play with as well. So for Karsa, you're not too worried. Those Goodman Crabs, since the new patch, aren't worth anywhere near as much as they were in seasons past, and you can see the results of this game.
Viu's living in 2021, just like me. He's also struggling with the fact that it's a new year. There's BiuBiu. You know, I thought that this was going to be a bit better for Gragas than it looks like it is going so far. Invincible, 10 CS up in the top lane. Certainly not struggling on these trades. BiuBiu completely out of mana and not having a fun time of it. Viu could look to change that as he can get real creative with the pathing into the top lane. Hop, skip, and a jump over the wall here. It doesn't look like anything will happen. Invincible just going to go for his recall. There are no Krugs up, so Viu, unfortunately for him, has wasted his time.
But I love that our V5 are playing safe, right? Because the only way Viu really gets back into this game is if he can get a kill. Right now, Karsa's doing a great job of keeping him down, but Rookie taking some less than optimal trades in the mid lane, as Viu is here.
Yeah. Curious, important to mention that a good shockwave there would kill Rookie at this point. ppgod ignited, nice little combo. WE, we said we want to see better laning, right? That was the big takeaway from last game. So far, so good. We've got Rookie getting forced out by Shanks in the mid lane. Got some nice 2v2 action in the bottom lane as well. The only issue being that top side, but doesn't seem like it should be too big of an issue, at least for the time being. Engaged from ppgod in the bottom side. Karsa moving in as well. Kedaya's in trouble. Has to flash, but it's followed by Karsa. The Gravitum now stacking up onto Stay. He's going to be taken down surely, but the flash actually maybe gets away with this one. Another hook comes in. Karsa with first blood as Viu the next target. He will walk away with his life, but it's 1 for V5.
Nice job by V5 and playing around this bot lane once more. Once you see these Jinxes come in, definitely having that opportunity to set up plays in the bot lane is going to be very important. Now, V5 have found their first one, and they're still nicely ahead when it comes towards the jungle, the bot lane, and we're going to get a replay just here as Karsa just comes in over the wall. PP got another great hook. This Nautilus has been paying dividends just thus far. And even though Karsa tries to commit towards Kedaya, it's actually going to be Stay who ends up falling, not being able to escape away from this.
And the extra hook there onto Viu as well. I wasn't sure if they were going to get a bonus kill off the back of the play, but very nicely done. And, you know, it's a bit of a heartbreaker for WE, let's be honest, because we were just saying how the lane seemed to be going a bit better. We saw the nice trades, the 2v2 for WE in the bottom lane, but unfortunately, Karsa able to punish them for that one. Viu getting his third Scuttle Crab of the game. That's 100% Scuttle Crab participation from Viu. Managing to keep relatively even in the jungle. That said, Karsa got first blood, so he will inevitably be behind.
Yeah, he's behind in gold, he's behind experience. Like Karsa, you'll see, will hit 6 first. Actually, Viu just hitting level 6 is Karsa.
You're wrong.
Not sure where he is, but here we go.
Here we go. Nice explosive cask and the combo from the Talon. We said Viu needs a kill to get into the game, and BiuBiu is there to set him up.
Yeah, exactly. Getting that early kill for Viu is so important as well. You're an assassin. Falling behind is not going to do well for you as ppgod and Photic. I'm not sure where they're off to, but Karsa now, that was not what you wanted to see, especially as you've done such a good job in kind of keeping Viu behind. Yes. But Karsa was doing a really good job of keeping Viu behind, but Viu, like, kind of moving into the mid lane and, like, sharing XP with Shanks, then going back in and, like, being able to pick up some of that that experience soaked up in the bot lane as well. And he's managed to kind of right the ship a little bit. And now with that kill as well, he's right back into where he's actually in a pretty good spot.
So I've realized as well, the reason that V5 were making that play on the blue, but it was to stop Shanks getting the blue, right? They forced Viu to take it for himself, as V5 now can move up towards this Rift Herald. And with Viu on the bottom side of the map, I don't think this is going to be contested by WE, so I'm going to take this opportunity to mention that I'm loving watching Rookie play Vex here. Actually, I don't think I have time to talk about this. I think it's 2v4, but we might get a fight anyway, because BiuBiu's moving over. Viu has made his way across the map. Invincible has to dash. And it looks like WE maybe get this one for themselves. Stay, though, is in the wrong spot. That's not the place to be. ppgod gets the pull as well, but Stay's still surviving, at least for the time being. And Rookie's cooldowns are long at this point in the game. Stay finally falls, but it's 1-for-1 support for AD carry. And in the meantime, their Herald went down, and WE got themselves that objective.
Yeah, I mean, you all in on to Stay, but he survives for so damn long with the heal, the shields, and also Kedaya just being able to heal him up off of the quiver as well. They're not able to do anything, so Viu gets ripped, they get the turnaround kill, and now Viu is getting some camps for himself on this top side. So all in all, WE come out absolute trumps, and it looks great, right? But there just isn't enough damage. Invincible doesn't have the ult to try and follow up. You even get the Jinx rocket going wide, so Stay just stays along for so long.
In defense of Photic, I'm pretty sure that rocket was aimed for Viu to try and steal the Herald. I think that was where that rocket was going. But yeah, bit of an interesting one. And look, I like the play from Rookie fundamentally, but the problem is you don't have the damage to finish him off. So the fact that ends up being a 1v1 for 1, and you also don't get the Herald, means it's a rough play for V5, and it means the WE are maintaining a gold evenness. That's not a word. they're staying even in gold, which comparatively to game number 1 in this series is a huge positive for them. Invincible trying to get some damage down up in this top side, and he's doing a good job. Still 10 CS up and maybe looking for kill threat here. BiuBiu is real low on HP. Just a couple more autos, a Q and an ult would finish the job there, but Viu wants a bit of revenge. Invincible knocked back by the cast, but BiuBiu needs to be careful how hard he commits to this one. Viu is here, does not have the ulti available for now, and Invincible has his passive stacks up, so Talon not going to do that much damage, but I think it might still just be enough to bleed to finish it off. And well, with the Herald in pocket, this is going to be a good chunk of gold for BiuBiu.
Yeah, nice job from Viu with that flash, right? Predicts the movement coming through from Invincible, which means he gets the second half of the rake, dealing a ton of extra damage and setting off that bleed, so they get the kill on towards Invincible. And fortunately for Invincible, he's now just become the target for Viu. When you've got bot lane that's going to be able to push in and keep himself safe for Photic, ppgod, Rookie, incredibly hard to take down in the mid lane, Invincible becomes the prime suspect, and unfortunately, Karsa hasn't been able to put as many resources into the top side this time around, and with the lack of vision for V5 on this top lane, Viu is having a field day.
He certainly is, Viu. Especially considering the early game, the fact that he was struggling to have much of an impact. So Karsa get first blood. I was a little worried about this jungle matchup, but the last couple of minutes, Viu has been doing real well for himself. Got another serrated Dirk on top of the Ghost Blade now, so he is going to one-shot people. Photic needs to be real scared about what's going to happen in this mid game, because Jinx does not do well into Talon. I have to say, in that 1v1, it's not a 1v1 that Jinx wins.
Yeah, and this is what we were talking about for V5, is trying to get set up on these objectives first, right? Like, if you're able to have Invincible play sides... Oh, actually, hang on. Invincible may not be in a side lane for long. His View's up here, and he's got that Rift Herald.
Yeah, you know how I was saying Photic's going to be worried? I don't think Viu cares about Photic. I think he's just going to bully Invincible all game long. BiuBiu tagging the tower, and the combo is there as Viu just basically one-shots Invincible. And Invincible's name quickly starting to feel quite ironic.
Yeah, it's not looking so hot as... there goes the rocket. Unfortunately, a little bit too late. And for Karsa, he just hasn't been able to put pressure topside. And one of the things we were saying was like, look, it'd be great if Invincible could control side lane. Get this Graves ahead. You force BiuBiu to play into that 1v1 matchup and not being able to join in for team fights. But with the way WE are playing right now, it's actually going to be really difficult for Invincible to get control of this side lane, keeping Gragas in there. And then you open up the opportunity for V5 to contest the likes of these dragons that are coming up, contest the Rift Heralds and those Barons, and play towards their team fight strengths.
Staying going to have to set up for some time being, but it wants to move back in here. ppgod getting a hook, but Kedaya able to get on out. And I have to say, this team from WE is real difficult to catch with a Rakan and a Talon. There is lots of opportunities to escape these plays with Photic. Looking for an extra plate, and looks like he will be able to get it. Solo gold on that one as well. He's 20 CS up, has his Gale Force already, and that's his third plate. And I'm pretty sure all three were taken solo, because the first two I'm pretty sure he got while that first Herald was underway. And remember, V5 got the first Drake, with the next one coming up in a minute's time. It's looking like the bottom side of the map is where V5 are indexing.
But we are looking at things being unleashed. Teleport is now up available as we crest the 14-minute mark. And when you've got the TP advantage for BiuBiu, you've got a team fighting composition for WE, I think you just give up pressure on the top side. BiuBiu comes down and you fight this next dragon. So for V5, they have to be so careful about how they set up. WE, they're coming in with the resets now. I think they're going to try and look for this aggression.
I'll have to. Red buff coming up as well. 20 seconds until that Drake, and Karsa has moved to the top side to go for his red buff. Looks like at least playing it safe for the time being and not just trying to brute force the objective on the timer itself. But Photic's moved mid to try and get priority for his team. I say try. He will get priority. He's a Jinx. He's very good at pushing that lane. And in the meantime, Stay is still in that bottom lane, so this could well be a Herald going the way of V5 if they could just start this on spot.
Yeah, and you can see BiuBiu was trying to roam down to think about going for the dragon and keep his TP to get back topside, but you're actually just going to see Invincible pushed off. BiuBiu should be fine under Terror, so you get the Terror trade on bot side. V5 will start up Rip Terrell, but Dragon's being traded as well. So honestly, this is a win for WE. Unless they can try and make some sort of play onto BiuBiu in that top end, they're kind of missing out on this trade.
Yeah, Invincible was looking at his watch and he was thinking it was revenge o'clock, but the team not on board with the dive, at least for the time being. It will just be Herald grabbed for V5. At least Invincible is real good at shredding towers as well on that grave, so he will be able to at least trade for 1 tower. I'm looking at the tier 2 bottom side though, because remember, this Aphelios is just shredding through it, and there's a huge minion wave as well. BiuBiu there to help on out. That's going to be 2 towers traded for just 1 on the top side, on top of getting the Drake, and it's going to be a Hextech Soul. So if BiuBiu didn't have enough ways to get in and out of the enemy jungle, well, now he's got some portals to help him out.
Yeah, and it's going to be wonderful. Like, you can see these, well, we haven't seen it yet, but in theory, these Hextech portals are great for assassins like you because you can reposition and you can get yourself into some nice spots. But mostly we've just seen people into it. So I'm kind of down for either way. You know, we'll get some craziness regardless. The big thing, as he said though, Munch, is tier 2 bot, bunch of gold injected in towards WE. They are now effectively in the gold lead. And they have really good control over the map, right? You need to be able to make sure that you can push in bot side as BiuBiu, make sure you can keep them safe, and if Invincible's got to play in this long lane, it opens up more opportunities for BiuBiu to keep bot lane safe and look towards that Baron that's going to be spawning in 3 minutes.
Invincible ulting to dodge the ult. Nicely done. As he gets out of the shockwave from Shanks. Both TPs available to the side of WE, but Karsa trying to make a play on the bot side onto BiuBiu. Oh, beautiful ulti from Karsa to stop the CC out from BiuBiu's explosive cast. But in the meantime, WE making a play on the top side here. Invincible, the target, has to flash away straight off. But the quickness, the knockup is there, and Invincible will go down. Another kill going the way of WE on the top side, but a Herald dropped in this bottom lane. And with Rookie and Karsa here, it's at least a tier 2, perhaps more. But BiuBiu, I would imagine, can defend this one, at least for the time being. And Dagda, the pace of this game is really starting to pick up. But again, I want to reiterate what we said we wanted from WE after game number 1. It was more in the early game so that the mid game could be strong. Well, they are still 1,000 gold ahead of V5 right now. They are poised in a phenomenal position. Their scaling looks good. Feels like this could be the game for WE to be able to show us what they're made of.
And it feels like right now, the best bet for V5 to try and shut that down is trying to play through these side lanes, right? Invincible works better in the side lane over BiuBiu in theory, although he is 0-4, so BiuBiu kind of getting the best of that so far. Rookie definitely going to be stronger in the side lane as well, where he's got a little bit of safety with the passive, so we can actually try and run away from people, versus Shanks, who's kind of just a sitting duck. So I think for V5, like, shove out sides, try and collapse on mid is probably your best bet, but WE are doing a really good job of like pushing in that long top lane to stop that happening. Kedaya will feel a little bit of a push here in the mid.
Yeah, trying to set up the rest of his team as BiuBiu moves in alongside Stay to try and clear these minions out. Like an LDR second item here for Photic, who's just trying to get some armor pen. He knows he's going to have to try and shred through BiuBiu on that front line. Now Drake coming up in 1:20. So far, WE having control of the area, at least for the time being. I'm a little curious as well about Rookie's build, going for the Everfrost over the Ludens, wanting to play a little bit more as a peel bot, trying to get that chain CC down and play for those picks as opposed to just one-shotting people. Kedaya desperately trying to fight for vision control. With BiuBiu off on the side, feels like he'll win that fight.
Yeah, I mean, it's a battle for mid supremacy here, right? Like, if you can control mid, V5 becomes a lot easier to move in towards river. But honestly, for V5, I would just give this dragon, right? Like, you don't want to come into WE when they've established themselves in river and they're such a strong team fighting team. Instead, try and trade it for like the top tier 2. Try and find ways so that you can open up this map a little bit more for Invincible. But it looks like right now, maybe actually they're starting to move across. It looks like they're just going to go, hey, look, we don't want to be here for Dragon. We're going to go collect that top road.
Looking towards Baron, potentially. Baron is on the cards. There is a Scuttlecraft that's owned by WE, so that will keep at least some vision in the area, but that has actually just timed out as I say it. So Perhaps not as safe as they felt like they were. 7 seconds, though, until this Hextech Drake comes up. And remember, Hextech Soul, exceptionally strong. This is not a Drake Soul that you want to give up without a fight, but for the time being, V5 are going to concede. They're saying, look, and again, Dagda, this is what we were saying last game. Restraint, uncharacteristic restraint from V5. A good effort from Photic. Every single neutral objective, if they're not on it, Photic will ult it, I guarantee. But V5, these players from top esports, from IG, and from V5, another team that, let's be honest, not known for their restraint, respecting their opponents and not playing in dicey situations. That said, is Rookie going to make an attempt here? Kedaya's moving over, as is Karsa. We could have a 2v2 on our hands as Karsa. Looking for the Birdman, but Shanks is caught out up on the top side. Everfrost there to keep him still. So that's all of Rookie's damage. Karsa has to finish this one off. The flash from Shanks and Kedaya with the Guardian keeps his mid laner alive.
Karsa's mechanics just kind of failing him there. It looked like he didn't quite get the W flash over the wall, and it's kind of been the second time that we've seen it, but unfortunate there, as they're not quite able to lock down Shanks long enough to get the kill. But honestly, this has been great from W, right? We said, hey, look, V5, they can trade the Dragon attempt for pressure topside, maybe look for a tier 2. WE just read that so well, get players in position to stop that dive, and now they're looking for things.
ppgod has to flash away. I think he'll be okay on that one, at least for the time being, as Photic having to Gale Force just to keep himself safe from BiuBiu, who did have that explosive cast available. Cast. I'm not gonna lie, Rob. Speaking has been difficult today for some reason, but here we go. WE, they're not having any difficulties as they kick this Baron off. Remember, game number 1, the highlight was a mid-game Baron play from WE, and it looks like that might be the bread and butter for this team, as ppgod forced out once again. WE can just rinse and repeat, or can they? Because Stay's been found, but Rookie didn't have ult available there. I'm not gonna lie. I saw him get feared, and I was like, that's it. Aphelios is gone from this one, but without Rookie's ult, they couldn't finish the kill.
I'm a bit worried that WE are just kind of going for these, hey, let's go for a Baron play, though, because it feels like they're not really having everyone in the right spot. And although Kedaya can set up really well for engage, Shanks actually wasn't in position to follow the shockwave. It's feeling a little bit like, hey, WE, not really sure how they want to try and progress this. Whereas I think you're giving time to to V5 for like Invincible to move down bot side, push some waves in, get him into a better spot, right? Like he's just finished 2 items, so the fact he's 0-4 kind of being nullified by the fact he's 200 plus CS. It feels like for WE, trying to find moments where you can push waves, like congregate on mid, look for dives, look for big plays is going to be your best bet. We're just not quite getting that.
Yeah, I thought there was going to be shenanigans to put 3 people stacked in Pixel Brush, but it doesn't happen for the time being. And I just want to bring everyone's eyes to the scoreboard as it vanishes from your screen. Perfect timing there. Look. Shanks right now is on like 260 CSs. We're only 23 minutes into the game. He's also 50-60 CS up over Rookie. That is not a sentence that you get to say very often. That is absolutely insane. And that is a portal. Rookie is on a mission. Last game, I called him Spartan 117, but I think he's going 007 right now. Invincible moving through the jungle as well. BiuBiu, not sure if he spotted him or not here. V5, they could try and make a play on towards this mid lane. Stay is currently alone. Rookie, this time, he does have the ulti available. That Shadow Surge to dash on in. Photic needs to push the wave. I'm curious if WE know what's up here. I'm not sure if BiuBiu spotted either of these players as they tried to get in the position. Photic moving with the wave. Here we go. Invincible and Rookie moving in, but the Shadow Surge is the biggest whiff I've ever seen Rookie make, honestly. And it's a disaster.
I think the play just took too long. I mean, yes, you end up whiffing on it with a Rookie, but even then, I don't think you wanted it to hit, because WE kind of read, hang on a second, we have Invincible, who's been missing for about 30 seconds, same when you look towards Rookie, and we've just completely cleared topside. So there is nobody in this topside jungle. They could only be on the bot side of the map, so WE had already moved into position to counter that play. So unfortunately for V5, It's a swing and a miss. And now with 30 seconds on towards the dragon, again, it's WE who are in control of the area. Again, this team fighting squad that is going to be able to set themselves up so nicely. And if you're trying to come through either of these entrances into River, against Kedaya, against Shanks, against BiuBiu with that AoE CC, it is not going to be a fun time.
It's gonna be a toughie. 2 items for each AD carry as we've got a pick onto Karsa and massive damage out from Viu to finish that one off. And now, surely Drake on a platter here for WE, and it would be soul point as well. ppgod actually trying to start a fight there because BiuBiu was a little too far forward, but apparently not. It's ppgod who was too far forward. The cask of the century for BiuBiu. Well, that's maybe an overstatement, but it was a great cask as BiuBiu finds a pick onto the enemy support. That will be soul point, surely, for the setup.
I mean, it's going to be the mid lane turret, and I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, there you go. Dragon going across over towards them. This has been so well orchestrated from WE, and again, we're talking about, look, when WE find these early skirmishes, when we see Kedaya on these big engaged supports with easy follow-up from WE, that's where WE look most confident, and they're finding picks. We haven't seen the big team fight yet, but this is so much stronger from WE.
Yeah, looking really good for WE. I'm excited that this squad is showing up. The Gragas pick looking really good for BiuBiu as well. Let's take another look, because, I mean, Karsa, I think, just being a little too aggressive on trying to fight for vision.
Yeah, thinking, hey, look, I've got the rest of my team right beside me, but not expecting the number of WE members that would be coming over the wall on top of them. So, gets caught out, and now it might happen again, Karsa.
It's not the place to be, mate. He's going to just get chased down by the Talon, who has massive damage individually. And I will say, when I looked at the rosters today, Rob, and I saw it was Viu versus Karsa, my mind did not immediately go, oh yeah, Viu's just going to gap him. No, easy peasy. That is not the way that you expect this matchup to go. But so far, Viu is having a series and a half here. A game and a half. As WE start the Baron once more, 6,000 health. They are going to have to peel away, at least for the time being, with a TP from Invincible. Stay still committing. He doesn't want to let it reset. Finally have to back away. BiuBiu moving forwards. Invincible just chunking stay out. That surely means WE can't team fight this. You've got to believe that. Shanks does have his... And remember, I guess they don't need help, right? As long as they're getting big shockwave, this could be the opportunity, but the explosive cast knocks everyone away! That's a knock-up. Shockwave in! Is there an ulti from Aphelios? I don't think so. Viu in on the backline, looking for Photic, but he flashed over the wall, and now it's Karsa versus the world. Rookie back into the fray, fears across the team. Karsa goes down. Invincible can't finish these kills. They just don't have the damage, and it's Shanks to sweep the kills up. A triple on the Orianna.
It was messy, it was spread out, but WE managed to pick up the victory off the back of that. And now WE, with just Photic alive, can turn over towards the Baron. That's the big team fight that they need.
I was just watching for the ult. I was watching for the second that B5 group up, and then Shanks finally gets that huge shockwave. And it turns the fight in favor of WE. I want to take another look at that one, though, because I feel like there was a lot of intricacies in a very chaotic fight.
Yeah, you can see here, right? The engage on the BiuBiu was not the call, but you called it, right? You're in this very tight quarters here. So the second ppgod moves over, there's the engage from Kedaya, sets up for that shockwave, and that's the two-man piece we're talking about. But bottom left screen, we got an engage, and it looks like Photic just barely escaping from the WE jump.
Yeah, I'm not especially sure what happened on that one for him to get caught with getaway, but getaway he will. I think it was a blast going to get him out safely. But yeah, the combo. I wish Stain held onto his ulti a little bit there. If Stay's ulti goes on top of the shockwave there, I think that's a much more one-sided fight in favor of WE. Kind of whiffed his ulti. I will say, BiuBiu ulting that early on, I was expecting, when they were grouped as a 4 there, I was expecting that to be the shockwave mode, but unfortunately, I mean, no, there's no unfortunately. They won the fight. It's 11-3. WE are looking great. They're 5,000 gold.
I will say one of the big things that is aiding WE is just a lack of vision control for B5. Like, it's been pretty consistent as we start to siege up on this mid lane turret, but B5 have not been able to spot out where Viu is coming from at any point in time, and you can see it in that fight, right? Photic instantly gets jumped on, gets zero help from the rest of the team, and he will kill Viu, but the fact you're 1v1 as Jinx pretty much for the entire fight against Talon says a lot about kind of what's happening on the B5 side.
Big damage damage onto Invincible here as the Siege can go on all day long for WE. Not the greatest Siege weapons for Aphelios, though. He would love to have the Caliber in this kind of situation, as Karsa threatening off on the side. B5 holding on, but they've still got a full 2 minutes almost. Oh, sorry, a minute and 10 on the clock here for this Baron to keep on ticking over, and then 30 seconds until the Hextech Soul comes up. WE, they're just playing for control of the map. Get that Soul first.
And it's very much protect the package that WE are playing with. Like, look at Stay. He is never not surrounded by at least 4 members, 5 members of WE. He is Shockwave.
Shockwave. Oh, the combo is gorgeous. WE make it happen. Forget the Soul. They can go for the base. BiuBiu happy to tank as they charge on forwards, and Rookie is left alone in the world. The inhib will fall. WE are pushing us to 3.
That is going to be game. Nice, easy win for WE. Confident play with the team fight as Rookie gives his life for the cause, says, look, I'll give it a shot. But no shot is what he'll find as WE will pick up the win.
Beautiful stuff from WE, and what an explosive finish as well. The Shockwave into the barrel to knock the wall into Kedaya's waiting arms. Oh, that was something beautiful to witness, and it means that we're going at 3 games in B5's first series. And let's be honest, we already set it up. B5